Every single second you use your computer, there's this one critical piece of software that's just running the entire show, even if you never really think about it. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what that is, the operating system.
So, think about this for a second. What really happens when you double-click an icon? I mean, it seems so simple, right? You click, and boom, your favorite app opens. But have you ever stopped to wonder what's actually going on under the hood? How does that simple click translate into a whole web browser or a video game? Well, that little bit of magic, that's the work of the operating system.
To really get why we even need an OS, we've got to look inside your computer. It is packed with some seriously powerful hardware. But here's the thing. On its own, it's just a box of parts. A ton of potential, but with absolutely no direction.
First up, you've got the CPU, the Central Processing Unit. Just think of it as the brain of the whole operation. Its entire job is to execute instructions, to do the math, run the logic, and perform all the calculations that make your programs work. It's the raw engine.
Next, we've got memory, or what we all call RAM. This is the CPU's high-speed temporary workspace. So when you're running a program, all the data it needs to access right now gets loaded into memory. It's kind of like the desk where the brain lays out all the papers it's actively working on.
And then, of course, there's storage. That's your hard drive or your SSD. Think of this as the computer's long-term memory, its permanent library. All your applications, your documents, your photos, everything lives here, safe and sound, even when you turn the computer off.
So you have a brain, a workspace, and a library, all these incredibly powerful parts. But without a manager to coordinate them, it's just total chaos. The CPU wouldn't have a clue what data to get from storage or how to use the memory. None of it can work together.
And this is where our hero comes in. The operating system is that master coordinator. It's the essential software that brings order to all that chaos and turns that collection of powerful hardware into a computer you can actually use.
You see, the OS acts as this critical bridge that connects three key things: you, the user, your applications, like a web browser, and the computer's physical hardware. It translates all your requests into actions the hardware can actually understand and perform. Now, to keep the system stable and not crashing all the time, the OS does something really clever. It creates a fundamental separation. Your applications run in a safe, restricted user mode. Think of it like a sandbox where they can't cause any major damage. The OS itself, though, runs in the all-powerful kernel mode with complete, unrestricted control over the hardware. This divide is so important because it's what prevents a single misbehaving app from bringing down your entire computer.
Okay, so one of the OS's most impressive jobs is managing everything you do at once. How on earth does it juggle multiple programs and all the memory they need without everything just turning into a complete mess?
I mean, you might have a dozen apps open right now. How can one CPU possibly run them all at once? Well, the trick is, it doesn't. The OS acts like a super-fast traffic cop, switching the CPU's attention between programs thousands of times per second. It gives each one a tiny slice of computer time, which creates this perfect illusion that they're all running simultaneously.
The OS is also a really strict landlord for your computer's memory. It gives each application its own private section of RAM and makes sure they stay there. This memory protection is absolutely vital. It's what prevents your web browser from accidentally overwriting the data that your music player is using, which would cause one or both of them to crash.
So, beyond just managing active programs, the OS is also responsible for something we interact with constantly, our files. It's the master organizer for your entire digital world.
So, what even is a file, fundamentally? The source material gives us a perfect, concise definition. A file is a collection of related information defined by its creator. It's really just this abstract concept that can be anything from a text document to an MP3 to a program itself.
The OS takes this abstract idea of a file and makes it real. It uses something called a file system to act as a digital librarian. Its whole job is to organize potentially billions of files on your storage drive into a structured system of directories, or, folders, so that you and your programs can actually find things.
And the OS's job doesn't stop at your main hard drive either. It manages a whole hierarchy of storage, from your fast internal SSD to external drives, and even what's called tertiary storage, like these magnetic tapes you see here, which, believe it or not, are still used for massive data backups.
When you really put it all together, you start to see just how much the operating system does behind the scenes. It's truly the computer's unsung hero. So to sum it all up, the OS is doing 4 key things for you all the time. It gives you a user interface, whether that's a graphical desktop or a command line. It manages all the core resources we've talked about. It provides protection to keep your running programs from interfering with each other. And it provides security to defend the entire system from external attacks like viruses. Now, those last two sound similar, but they're distinct. Protection is internal, while security is external.
From the very instant your computer boots up to the moment you click shutdown, the operating system is that constant, invisible, and absolutely essential force that makes everything you do possible.
So as we wrap up, think about it. The OS is the invisible force powering your entire digital life. What's one thing you do on your computer every day that you now realize you absolutely couldn't do without it?